welcome our viewers into a new episode of your show around Kuwait, where we shed the light on the most recent topics and focusing on the trending occasions. I'm your host Abdulatif Lanizi, and today I'm joined with my co-host and colleague Hiba. Good evening, Hiba.
Good evening, Abdul Ghaif, and a great evening to our dear viewers who are watching us today in a new episode around Kuwait. Of course, we're really delighted to welcome everyone, especially as you know, in our program, we'd like to highlight about all of the updates that are actually happening here in Kuwait. So we have lots of things prepared for you with different headlines.
Of course, and in regards of the first headlines for today, people with disabilities are a main piece in our community. They're actually one of the assets and one of the most important assets. So that's why we are celebrating on the greening initiatives, of course, with them.
Yes, indeed, and that's the most important, let's say, headline talking about it itself. You know, it's very important to educate ourselves when it comes into talking about people and disabilities and encouraging them to be a part of the society itself. And one of the most second, let's say, headline we have is the diplomatic community gathers for a global refugee forum prep in Kuwait.
Exactly, and for the third topic for today, also we have the Kuwait athletes continue to collect even more and more medals. It's actually a remarkable topic, and I'm really to talk about that. I'm so excited.
Yes, indeed. So of course we're going to talk more about that, but first, dear viewers, we're going to head to a break and then we'll be back.
In the spirit of raising awareness about the vital role of individuals with special needs, they took part in the Green Week event. This participation aimed to increase society's understanding of the significance of this essential group in advancing our thinking and breaking away from typical stereotypes. The event was organized with the active involvement of individuals with special needs. It focused on their awareness and educating the community about their substantial contribution. This occasion provided an excellent platform for highlighting the abilities and contributions of individuals with special needs.
Today we are celebrating the Greenery Day at our special needs nursery. Our students are special needs, however, they are still able to celebrate this day how they can, the way they can, the skills they can do during this day. We want to show our Mother Earth, our love and care from this category of kids, and they did it, and we really enjoyed it today.
It aimed to break down barriers and foster a more inclusive society that values and respects the diverse talents and strengths of every individual. Throughout the Green Week event, individuals with special needs actively participated and shared their experiences, helping to raise awareness and educate the community about their effective role. In summary, the involvement of individuals with special needs in Green Week was a powerful initiative to emphasize their important role in our society. It aimed to create a more inclusive and aware community that appreciates the unique abilities and contributions of everyone, regardless of their special needs. This event is a step towards breaking down stereotypes and building a more inclusive future.
So after hearing the report, especially talking about Green Week itself, you know, Abdul Latif, it's very important to educate people when it comes into people with disabilities and increase that awareness in the society itself to show people how important it is to be, let's say, evolved around them, to understand them, and to know more about, let's say, how they actually have something to present for the society beside their disability. You know, like they want people to see them more in a positive way that we could actually achieve and present in our society rather than just seeing our disability itself.
Exactly. So that's why they actually made them to participate with them in the Greening Week,
Green Week.
on the greening initiatives that have been happening every year, starting from October usually until March or after March, until also April.
Yes.
So when we talk about that, we've seen actually the vital role embracing the diversity here in Kuwait, because there are not any difference between any of them, and of course not with us. So that's actually one of the reasons that we are trying to increase the more of the awareness that we have here. So if you see it, we have actually many groups that we are initiating many of the groups work, especially here in Kuwait. So I think it's really wonderful and remarkable to see these types of initiatives here.
Yes, indeed, and especially when we're talking about Green Week itself, it's a way to educate people, and it's more of a way to present themselves, especially when it comes into people with disabilities. It is an area where everyone is gathered together to educate.
A lot of people.
Yes, educate everyone, and to make them feel more comfortable, because that will be a very, let's say, their comfort zone, talking about how important to educate people around that. In these, let's say, particular events, we're talking not only about, let's say, adults audience, but also talking about children. So children
kids,
will
yes.
be involved when it comes into, let's say, people with disability. They will be,
Educating
let's say,
them,
yes, there will be interaction
knowing how
between
to deal with them, yes,
and
exactly.
children are really not shy to ask any question. Therefore, a person with a disability would feel really happy to actually answer these questions, because children are really, let's say, eager to know. They're always curious. They want to know. They want to
always
ask
asking
questions.
about more information.
Yes,
Yes.
though sometimes it's inconvenient, to ask into a certain, let's say, disability questions. For instance, why are you using a wheelchair, or what is that on your eye as, let's say, a bandage or anything? But it is one of the ways that actually encourage them to be more, let's say, in their comfort zone to answer these children questions, and therefore these children will actually grow up to not feel that they're actually different from us.
Exactly, because unfortunately in the past, not in the past few years, I'm talking about like years ago, we had like a couple of incidents, a couple of situations that have been happening, not only here in Kuwait, also in the GCC countries, where like the children and the kids were not that aware about the people with disabilities. So unfortunately, it becomes a little bit of situations, uncomfortable situations, also to the parents, because we need to educate most mainly in important, which is the new generation, the kids, knowing how to deal with them. So I think that this initiative is really remarkable. And not only that, if you see the greening initiative, it's really fun. It's really fun. Everyone taking a plant, everyone taking a remarkable work. So with the remarkable work that they've been doing, when they take a plant, when they when they plant it, so they give them this remarkable work. Everyone like has a little shovel.
Yes.
They try to dig, put the plant, try to put a water on it.
Yes.
Doing our kids with the people with disabilities, with their kids.
Yes.
I mean, their parents were so proud of them, and I think that these initiatives are really remarkable.
Yes, indeed, and especially when we're talking about such activity, it is a very important thing, and it's an important message that has been said to the audience themselves, that when it comes into having them all together, as you just said, planting a plant is something very important to show them that we are part of a society and we can grow as the plant is actually growing. Therefore, they only need a perfect, let's say, soil, sand, in order for them to get more nutrition.
Our soil and sand is actually time.
Yes.
Is actually time, time, and also the good ideas, which is this remarkable idea to include the people with disabilities, to include them more and more with our community. And I wish that we have every initiative that's been happening. And if you can hear that we started also cleaning initiatives on the beaches, so a lot of groups they are doing that, and I wish that they also have this idea to include people with disabilities, to include any types of community, to embrace more about the diversity, as I said from before at the start also. So these work are really remarkable, because the effect of that, we usually don't see it at the time, but you will see it like when the new generation, when you will see like less situations, bad situations that have been happening, you will see it after years. The results of these initiatives, because it is remarkable. We're not talking about greening initiatives, we're talking about embracing diversity. We're talking about this remarkable work that's been happening.
Yes, and especially when we're talking about that, Abdul Latif, you know, we have actually schools that have been associated in having people with disabilities try to, let's say, be part of the normal students' life. Like there's actually certain schools here in Kuwait provided in certain areas that actually is trying to actually, let's say, let them all get together.
I didn't know
them
that
get
actually.
mixed. Yeah, but the problem is, you know, we're still working so hard in that matter, trying to achieve it. Like we do have these classes presented in school, but still these students in some cases go, let's say, go separately in different, let's say, areas where the students could actually be collaborated. But in the end, we are seeing that being presented. Hopefully in the future, we will not see these separated class, but classroom.
One class for
but
everyone.
yes, but we want it to be actually mixed all together. You know, it is very challenging to do that, but I believe and I think if you start educating learners from kindergarten, having them associated with people and children with disabilities, try to make them, let's say, understand how to deal with them, how to treat them, how to, let's say, see them. Therefore, it will be something very, let's say, something that we've been used to, and then all of these matters will actually go away because it is something, let's say, we've used to see, we've used to, let's say, been associated with, instead of, let's say, letting them being separated for a while in certain age and then try to put them all again. Therefore, I believe again that having these schools is very important. We,
Yes.
of course, want them to grow more in that perspective, but yet again, it all needs us to collaborate all together. As you've been seeing in Green Week, everyone was there, everyone was working together, participating in different activities that was presented for everyone, parents, adults, children, even volunteers who wants to work in such week, and especially also for the most important thing is the disabled people to actually feel that they are part of such a great community.
Because we want to look inside the abilities that they have. We want to look beyond the world of disability. We want to look with the abilities, and you will see that they have remarkable abilities that even normal people don't have.
Yes.
Why? Because they actually have remarkable potentials. And with that being said, with these initiatives, I've seen videos about that. I've seen a couple of photos in the social media, and I saw that they have a remarkable work, understanding, quick learning. They have actually been focusing on the very specific details, and with that you will see that they have really good potentials and they have these abilities, because the Green Week mission, it was actually about to educate and to raise the awareness about the greening and about fighting the desertation, because this work is really, we need it, because we actually can feel it, not see it, feel it in the summer. And with that work, you will see that they are a remarkable work. That being said, so fighting the desertation, trying to clean the environment, clean the air, having more cold air, especially with summer, it will help the stratosphere with us. So with that, they also been focusing to include people with disabilities, trying to include them with our kids, trying to raise the awareness for them. So it is something really beautiful to see.
Yes, indeed. And of course, something very important to highlight for the audience when you're talking about special need people, you know, there's always level when it comes into that. Like we have the people who are, let's say, with more of a simple stage, and then we have the medium stage, and then we have the heavy stage. So it's always easier to work with the two stages. Therefore, when we're talking about special need, we're not focusing on, let's say, only the third stage, but no, there are people who are, let's say, having it in a very simple way. It doesn't need to be a very, let's say, difficult stage when it comes into dealing with them, because lots of people would concern, like, is it easy to work with a special need person?
No.
Is it something, let's say, challenging, difficult? Because in the end, they have their children and they don't want to, let's say, harm or make any kind of, let's say, uncomfortable situation. But just to educate the audience that we actually do have stage, and the people who are actually participating in such a matter are the ones who are, let's say, easily to deal with, easily to get attached to, get approached to. So it's very important to always educate yourself about that. Always, the most important thing is not to look at the special need person, or let's say disabled person, in a way that we feel sorry for them, or we feel like they need some help, or they need somebody, let's say, to assist them. Always look at them as someone very special, because they do feel it through the way they look at you look at them.
Yeah, they see it.
Yes, even the ones that, let's say, they don't have a sight, they actually feel it from your voice. So always try to be very important is to be, let's say, educated into how to approach them in a very prestigious and beautiful way.
Beautiful. What you said, Hiba, is actually beautiful and tremendous. So after with that being said with Hiba, this is the end for the first topic. We have a second topic, of course, but after this report, so stay tuned, our viewers.
Under the patronage of the Swiss ambassador in Kuwait and the representative of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in Kuwait, a preliminary discussion session for the Global Refugee Forum was held. This event took place at the residence of the Swiss ambassador, reflecting the world ambassador's dedication to showcasing their roles from Kuwait, a hub of humanitarian efforts. The discussion session served as a platform to exchange ideas and insights in preparation for the upcoming Global Refugee Forum, where countries and organizations come together to address refugee challenges on a global scale. This initiative highlights the importance of the diplomatic community's engagement in humanitarian work, and it's a testament to Kuwait's role in supporting these vital discussions. In summary, the preliminary discussion session held at the Swiss ambassador's residence underscores the commitment of world ambassadors in Kuwait to contribute to global humanitarian efforts. Their involvement in such events paves the way for addressing refugee challenges on a broader scale, while emphasizing Kuwait's significance in the field of humanitarian work.
Welcome back, our viewers. As the second topic for today, under the patronage of the Swiss ambassador in Kuwait and the representative of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in Kuwait, of course, a parliamentary discussion had been set on the Swiss ambassador residence. So the meeting was actually a discussion for the session for the Global Refugees Forum that's been held.
Yes.
And of course, it's a really interesting topic that everyone needs to know more information about.
Yes, indeed. Especially when we're talking about the main important topic, which is talking about the refugees itself. You know, being here in Kuwait, especially that Kuwait is known as the hub of the humanitarian efforts land. Let's say we've always been known as the supporter, the one that give a hand for everyone who's in need. Therefore, when we're talking about that, it's very important to educate people about how important is this matter, and especially that this was also taken as the place for the residence of the Swiss ambassador himself, reflecting the world ambassador dedication to showcasing, again, as we just said, that the Kuwait is a hub of humanitarian efforts.
Yes, it's actually the heart of the humanitarian efforts. Every year, on every crisis, when we see that there are some unfortunate accidents that have been happening, we will see Kuwait's efforts will be, as always, at the first. And of course, as the residents of the Kuwait, as everyone who lives in Kuwait, they need to have to have the same morals of our governments, which is always the head of every country. Always, it's like a race, and Kuwait always winning.
Yes.
On the humanitarian work for every situation, every type of situation.
Yes.
If there were like a financial crisis, if there were like medical crisis that been happening in a country, we will see the humanitarian work from our beloved country always winning the race, and it is really beautiful to see.
Indeed, and we're talking about the discussion that been held through the session itself. It actually served as a platform to exchange ideas and insights in preparation for the upcoming Global Refugee Forum, where countries and organizations come together to address refugee challenges on a global scale. Now, this is very important, you know, because when we're talking about refugee cases, we're not talking about specific country, but we're talking about different kind of countries. We're not talking about refugees being here in Kuwait, but we're talking about how to spread the support and help when it comes into different kind of countries. You know, there's a lot of camps being set in the borders of the countries, and Kuwait has been always there presenting help and presenting, let's say, all of the things and initials that they need. But we're not talking here only about Kuwait. We're talking about how everyone is actually going to be involved when it comes into these circumstances and helping them all together.
Yes, because unfortunately a lot of people think that helping the refugees, it's only providing a place and tents and food. It's not about that. It's actually how fast you are providing these medical aids, these tents and houses and residents. And of course, when we talked about that, it's a crisis. I mean, the refugee status is actually a crisis that's been happening for the whole world. I mean, millions of refugees tens of millions of refugees from the Middle East crisis that have been happening from the start of like 13 years ago until this day. There are more and more refugees that they are going to other countries, trying to have a new life, a normal life. All of that, which is what they are asking about, is a normal life, unfortunately. So it is a crisis what's been happening, and alhamdulillah that we have a remarkable work, as we heard that for the northern tents, for the northern refugees crisis that been happening lately, we had of course the first of the aid. We had a tremendous work, and as of course this crisis needs to be dealt with completely correctly by the right strategies. So for the Swiss ambassadors to held this meeting on his residence, I think it's something remarkable, because before the forum to be held, we need to have a right strategy so we can avoid any types of accidents, because when we saw at the last crisis that been happening, we actually saw some of the strategies went wrong. So we need to avoid that for the next times.
Yes, and especially when we're talking about the Swiss ambassador himself, we know that he actually presented it within his location. Therefore, we have different kind of world ambassadors being gathered over there to discuss these kind of matters, you know, to try to find this kind of commitment when it comes into humanitarian events itself and causes, trying to find the suitable situations when it comes into different kind of country again, because we're not only talking about Kuwait, we're talking about a global event that is happening, and trying to help the refugees itself when it comes into that matter. Not important, of course, matter when it comes into the involvement of the Swiss ambassadors in Kuwait in the initiative of the highest of the diplomatic community, dedication to addressing humanitarian challenges. You know, one of the most important thing is that we have here in Kuwait is such gatherings when it comes into, let's say, having this diplomatic gathering, highlighting the most important points, talking about things to do and of course to discuss in that matter. And we know that it is, let's say, one of the most important things that helps the message that Kuwait is at the forefront of promoting these, of course, efforts and, of course, these discussions when it comes into humanitarian work.
Exactly. And I felt more relieved when I heard that also the United Nations High Commissioner for the Refugees was actually there with the meeting. I was actually felt comfortable, because the United Nations, they have a really tremendous work, something remarkable that they are doing in regards of the refugees cases, providing them the safety before anything. Also providing them with everything that they need.
Yes.
They have been actually with the right help with the Kuwait charities and societies that been helping them. So the United Nations that they are doing a remarkable work, trying to make everything as easy as possible when it comes crossing lands, crossing countries. So sometimes there been a little bit of authority issues.
Yes.
So United Nations, they are doing a remarkable work, and alhamdulillah that we have them, alhamdulillah that we have actually a good connection with them. It is something remarkable that been happening. Inshallah that we won't have more refugees crisis in the future, because it is heartbreaking when we see every time, every year, some of situations, some of the wars that have been happening, people been running away from their countries, from their lands and homes. It is heartbreaking to see that. And we always, unfortunately, that we are seeing it, but fortunately we have more awareness thanks to the social media. We have more awareness that people needing us. So with that, especially the people of Kuwait, they are going immediately to donate. They have a remarkable donation system, trying to help everyone who is in need, no matter of who they are, what they are, where they are. So it is remarkable work that we are sitting. And of course, to the Swiss ambassador, thank you for holding this meeting at your residence, because what you are doing is actually remarkable.
Yes, it's very important to talk about that matter, because in the end, ambassadors all here gather together in order for them to present that collaboration when it comes into presenting the idea itself, about trying to find a better solution when it comes into such matters, such crisis. We're talking about global refugee, talking about the cases itself. We're not talking only about refugees in the matter, as you just said and highlighted, presenting, let's say survival tools, but we're talking about them being educated, talking about them being, let's say, having homes and shelters, talking about them having all of the supplies that actually, let's say, provide them, especially when you're talking about medical case. So we're talking about global refugee matter. We're not talking about specific topic, but I'm very sure that each individual ambassador is talking and highlighting about the more important specific things that are really, let's say, they are really good at, let's say, in some matter, in particular matter itself. So yes. Having such, let's say, meetings and presenting it in that matter is very important, so that it is one of the things that we actually need, because people would see ambassadors in the end, they are an image reflecting their own country. Therefore, whatever an ambassador is presenting an idea, they're presenting the idea of a whole country. So it's very important to hear them, to understand, and of course to find the collaboration that is very matter for such a global refugee situation.
Yes, and inshallah we won't have more situations on the futures, because what you said is actually really important. The discussion that they had, the meeting, was actually going to help so we can have more and better ideas, more strategies that will help be more specific, more into the right application. And of course, with that, we have a remarkable work thanks to our government. We're always in a race for this remarkable donations and helps that have been providing from our country to the other country. And of course, I think that we have a remarkable work. So with that, of course, they activate the participation on these preparations. It's actually exemplifies Kuwait's crucial role in the field of humanitarian work. Together with the other countries, with the United Nations High Commissioner, they have laid down the groundwork as more significance to the global discussions about the refugee challenge and the role of each nation can play, because some of the countries will provide the land, some countries will provide whatever they need in regards of the medical aid, some of the countries will provide whatever they need in regards of their residence, which is the tents, the houses, and whatever they need, of course.
Yes, indeed. And with that, dear viewers, that was our second headline. We're going to head to our third headline for today's episode, but after this report, so stay tuned to this.
Welcome back, our viewers. So now we are at the third topic for today, the third headline, which is something really remarkable. I'm really proud of our athletes, starting with Abdul Mohsen Al Fawzan. He actually won the gold medal at the GCC championship for the aquathlon. And of course,
Yes.
it's a tremendous sport, something really exhausting, and it requires a lot of practice almost every day, every hour. And of course, the aquathlon, not a lot of people knows about it. It's actually combined swimming and running at the same time.
Yes.
Okay. It's actually a sport really heavy. It requires a lot of stamina, and of course securing the gold medal at the GCC championship that's been held in Qatar. Something remarkable. We are so proud of you, Abdul Mohsen.
Yes, indeed, and it's a very remarkable victory. Talking about such great sport, as you just said and highlighted, it's one of the heaviest sport. I'm very sure that he has been very exhausted when it comes into dealing with that, dealing about trying to achieve his medal and winning the gold medal. And we are really proud when it comes into such a great achievement. And when you're talking about aquathlon, it's a demanding sport that actually, let's say, combines swimming and running at the same time. It requires a unique set of skills and of course lots of great, let's say, power when it comes into that. And I'm very sure, as we just said and highlighted, since our champion won the gold medal, he has been working so hard when it comes into that, practicing, preparing for himself for the place itself, and of course to gain it in Qatar. Again, it is one of the most remarkable things.
Yes, especially when we talk about championships that have been held in Qatar. It was actually not only about the GCC countries. I mean, there are athletes not presenting, but they were coming from other countries. This championship is actually something remarkable, and the aquathlon, it's not a sport that requires shooting or requires something that only needs some of the skills or like really heavy skills. No, it's actually really demanding sports. Abdul Mohsen Fawzan, he's not that old, he's actually young, and he had a remarkable work training days and days and years. And not going to lie, I've heard about him in social media, and I was actually searching about the sport, and immediately his name came up. So I wrote a couple of articles about Abdul Mohsen Fawzan, and he was actually a champion, having a really remarkable experience, remarkable talent, with remarkable work. So we are so lucky to have him. But when we talk about sports, we need to talk about different types of sports also, because our athletes here in Kuwait, not only in the aquathlon, also in the pentathlon, many sports that demanding, and it's actually combined with multiple sports like the pentathlon, swimming, running, shooting, horsery, and also many of the different sports. I think it's 5 or 6. So our athletes been having and doing a remarkable work and having a gold medals from not only the GCC championships, world championships. So it is something remarkable. Alhamdulillah that we have such a good hobbyists, good people with their remarkable hobbies. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, of course, and especially when we're talking about Kuwait youth. They're always set to the gold medal. They always participate in different kind of great achievements in sport and championships. When we're talking about that, we've always heard them presenting themselves in the most best, beautiful way, and also at the same time gaining such great medals. You know, we always say participating in different kind of competitions is actually represents something very great, and you participating means you are actually winning, because you're going there, you're practicing, you're taking time from your own family, friends, jobs, and different kind of, let's say, time that you're taking from yourself, presenting yourself with the country, taking part in such championships and competitions, trying to present Kuwait in a more prestigious way. This is very important, you know. Having that said, it's very also remarkable to see them actually win these kind of medals and presented for everyone here, because this medal is not only presented by him, but it's actually for the all youth of Kuwait, everyone here in Kuwait. Winning first gold medal represents Kuwait itself. Therefore,
Exactly.
we're really proud of that great achievement, and we wish them all the best, like when it comes into that.
Exactly, exactly. I've seen on the websites for, when there are news in the social media and there are comment sections.
Yes.
So what I've seen something remarkable is that after many of our athletes, after also the Asian Games having many gold medals and also many of the GCC competitions winning also many gold medals and winning at the first place, what we see is actually that they have an aspiring youth that they are seeing them as models, and they want to go as the same fate. They want to go, they want to have hobbies, and they want for our kids, for our next generations also, they are looking up to that because, and when I see the comments is that they are wanted to be just like them. And they were saying that seeing these people having gold medals, everyone, even no matter what type of sports that they have.
Yes.
Because, and also you mentioned something remarkable, which is contributing is actually something good. And you don't need to win.
Yes.
Because just participating is actually contribution to raising our country's name, which is something remarkable.
Yes.
Because sometimes you don't need to win, but even though we are winning, I've said it many times, but we're actually taking places, the first place, the top 3 places at every types of sports. Either it's going to be types of shooting sports, demanding and exhausting sports like the pentathlon, like the aquathlon. All of them.
Yes.
We are winning, and you need to know something, that these types of sports are new here in Kuwait. They are not that old, and
Yes.
our athletes, they just had it. It's actually new hobbies that we are seeing, new hobbies with these hobbies. So even though they are winning gold medals, so what do you say after a few years?
Yeah.
Something
I'm very
remarkable.
sure that it's going to be very, let's say, remarkable when it comes
Yes.
into that, and I'm very sure that everyone is going to achieve their best. But aside to aquathlon and talking about our athlete, we also have great people who actually participated, great athlete
Oh,
who
yes.
participated when it comes into one of the most important martial art, let's say, championship as Jiu-Jitsu, and it's been held in UAE, and we've had great athletes winning different kind of medals. We have 5 golden medals and
5 gold medals?
Yes, we have 5 gold medals and 2 silver medals presented in that matter. So this kind of showcase actually is very remarkable. It's very important to see our
Yes.
athletes presenting themselves in such championships, especially when we're talking about Jiu-Jitsu. Now we know Jiu-Jitsu is one of the martial art and
Most
and
complicated, I
it's
think.
very not only complicated, but it's very beautiful. It has very kind of technique, kind of pulls,
Yes.
kind of trying to hold the player itself in one position, trying to control that kind of round circle area, and again, it is very remarkable to see such great achievements happening here in Kuwait.
Exactly, exactly. And having these gold medals, I think it's something remarkable. You said it's been showcasing that this beautiful sport. I think it's been showcasing that we won almost all of the medals and we left nothing for the other countries. This is what I see.
Yes.
Because I see that we are taking almost all of the gold medals,
Yes.
which is the remarkable things. So when we talk about that, also we need to talk about who won these gold
Yes.
medals. And we need to mention the names: Ahmed Sharaf, Jassim Deshti, Faris Al-Mzani, Azam Al-Mzani, and Firas Al-Mzani. And of course, with these 5 medals that they had, they did something remarkable.
Yes.
I need to mention it one more time. And after mentioning their names, I just need to say thank you for your remarkable and for these beautiful achievements.
Yes, yes, indeed. And especially when we're talking about Jiu-Jitsu, again, it's one of the hardest, to be honest, martial art itself. And of course, this success highlights that they're experts, and their ability to actually, let's say, compete at the highest level is, of course, very important and demanding when it comes into the sport itself. Because again, Jiu-Jitsu is not something new, but we've been very proud to see such great athletes participating in it and presenting themselves and and we are really proud of them. And having that said, it's very important to actually also mention when it comes into, let's say, our winners for the silver medals. We have
Yes.
Khalid Al-Sharaf and also Muhammad Al-Ali. Actually having these silver medals presented itself for further adding to Kuwait's accomplishment when it comes into this championship. Again, winning medals is very important, whether it's gold, silver, bronze. It's very important because, again, you're winning something and coming back with it for the country
Yes,
itself.
yes. You will actually be inspiring. It's not only a medal that you will be proud of. People around you, your family, your friends, they will be proud of you. Like I have my friends, Faris Al-Mzaini or Firas Al-Mzaini, both of them, they won these gold medals. And of course, they had something remarkable. So with that, you will actually also make your whole country be proud of you. Everyone who knows you will be proud of you. Even the people who you don't know sometimes will be talking about you, like us talking here in our show around Kuwait about these remarkable achievements. And also for those who didn't win, of course, good luck on the next time. And you still contributed to rise our country's name.
Yes.
So it is something remarkable.
Yes, indeed. And of course, aside to that, we would like to talk more about one of the championships that our athlete participated in, which is archery. And we have our athlete, Abdullah Malala, representing Kuwait and achieving a gold medal when it comes into the Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia now?
Yes, Saudi Arabia competition that been held over there. Now, he won the gold medal, and we congratulate him on that because we know archery is very, very difficult, very, very challenging. You know, if you carry the bow and the arrow in a way and your hand is not presented in a correct way, you could actually hurt yourself within the bow itself. Like the rope that actually hits back could make really bad bruises that actually indicates that you are holding the bow itself into a not really correct position, and the arm should be, let's say, really straightened and not having this arm being presented in a way, because it does have a great injury. Like I've never thought of having such injury presented in archery until I actually, let's say, faced it. So yeah, it is really difficult.
So I wanted to say to Abdullah Malala, thank you for this remarkable achievement, because this achievement had this championship was held in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, as you said, of course. But I want to mention something.
Yes.
Is that do you realize something? Is actually we won gold medals in Qatar, UAE.
Yes.
And of course,
Saudi Arabia.
right now, Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
So we almost been like conquering the sports field in the GCC country. We have remarkable work. It is something beautiful.
Yes.
Because winning these gold medals actually representing Kuwait, it's representing that the youth of Kuwait, they have these remarkable talents, and these remarkable talents are not being hidden somewhere. It's actually being shown to the whole world. And a lot of people, and I actually saw that. I actually saw the ceremony what they gave them the medals. It was something remarkable.
Yes.
And also Hanan Al-Mayas in the archery, also she won the bronze medal, which is something really remarkable. She stood in the women's category at the same, almost, and also at the same kind of bow and archery category.
Yes,
which is
for women itself. So it's very remarkable to see such great achievement. When it comes into our athlete, all again, medals from gold, silver, bronze. All of you did a great job. We're really proud of you and wish you all the best and success when it comes into that matter.
Exactly. And of course, in conclusion, we need to wrap everything up. We need to talk, as today where we talked about the first topic, which is people with disabilities are a main piece of our community. So we included them in our Greening Week and the initiative, the Green Initiative that's been happening here in Kuwait, something beautiful that we saw.
Yes, indeed. And our second headline was talking about the diplomatic community gathers for Global Refugee Forum prep in Kuwait.
Something remarkable for a crisis that's been happening in the globe. So thank you for the Swiss and for all of the diplomatic representatives who've been there. Thank you for remarkable work and for the strategies that have been dealt. In regards of the third topic for today. Also, Kuwait athletes continue to collect more and more gold, silver, bronze medals. We left nothing for the world. We actually been taking everything. Something
Yes.
remarkable.
Yes, indeed. And with that, dear viewers, that was our episode for today. Hopefully everyone enjoyed watching us. Join us again in different episodes, and goodbye.
Goodbye.